Yeah.
Witness reminded of the oath, my lord.
Okay.
Colonel, we're just about to finish.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
You said when a member is coming to book out an exhibit, he or she will introduce himself to you. In other words, he will identify himself to you.
Ilokho kushilo ke umuntu ezobuka i-exhibit ezoyikhipha uzozisho ke ukuthi yena ungubani.
Yeah, kunjalo.
Yes, it isn't it so?
Did Colonel Mangena introduce to you as the member of the
Okay.
ballistic?
Colonel Mangena ke yena wazithola kuwena nje ngelunga le-ballistic.
Cha, zangasho ukuthi usebenza kuphi, kwathi nje u-Lieutenant Colonel uzobhuka isibhamu lesiso, ngase ngimcela ikhadi lesiphoyisa ngenze copy.
He didn't say where he was or which office was he working for. He only introduced himself as a lieutenant colonel, and that he wanted to book out that firearm. And then he showed me the card, the police identification card.
Okay. Now the question I'm going to ask, I'm asking this question because we're a senior member of the SAPS, an experienced one. Is it the normal procedure that an officer from the ballistic will come to the station, book out the exhibits, go and analyze the exhibits, and send the exhibit back to the station? Same officer.
Iyona nqubo leyo ukuthi i-officer yase ballistic is a police station izocela ukuthi inikezwe i-exhibit isibhamu ahambe ngaso aphinde futhi asibuyise yena lo ostatile nje ecaleni.
Hayi, angeke ngikwazi ukuphendula lo mbuzo ngoba angazi ukuthi bona eyabo imanually esebenzisa bona ukuthi are they allowed to do that or not.
I cannot answer that because I do not know based on their manual or based on their instructions as to are they allowed to do that or what does it allow them to do. Therefore,
Okay.
I cannot.
Based on your experience and on your books, have you ever had a case, an occurrence wherein you'll be approached by an officer from ballistic to book out the exhibits, go and analyze it and send it back and bring it back to you?
Ukuya nangendlela osebenza ngeencwadi ngakhona ama-registers uke waba nesigameko esinjalo sokuthi kube ne-office eqhamuka e-ballistic ize-ke izobhukha isibhamu kuwena isiphume ahambe-ke aye naso-ke kwe-ballistic aphinde asibuyise futhi kuyenzeka leyo nto leyo ukuya nge-experience yakho-ke.
Hayi, ngizwe nje namhlanje njengoba ngila enkantolo ukuthi uMangena kanti was from ballistic.
No. I only heard it today in court that Mangena was actually from ballistic.
So in other words, this also was the first time incident that it happened like this.
Ganti leyo nqubo yayiqala ukwenzeka ngaleyo ndlela ukuya ngawo.
Hayi, qala kwenzeka kune case enye bengihamba nje sengengaba nayo similar questions.
Well, it is not the first time that it happened. There is a case that I once was a part of, and it had the same or the similar questions.
Okay, so there are two.
Yeah, but that one is not involved. The case is still on actually.
This one has got nothing to do with this case, and it is still underway.
Okay.
Or it is on, it's still on.
Okay, it's fine. Thank you. You further testified that according to your knowledge, at the ballistic they couldn't reveal the serial number that was obliterated.
Usho ke ukuya ngolwazi lakho khona lapha ne-ballistic azange bake baveze leyo serial number okungukuthi yayiseseyisuliwe.
Yebo, kuleli cala lase Cleveland.
Yes.
Lokho kwabonakala khona ukuthi mina inumber bayitholile.
Yes, pertaining this matter of Cleveland,
And
there isn't any reflection that such a serial number was retrieved.
And Masondo testified that it was revealed and even the owner of that firearm was revealed.
Masondo yena usho kanjalo ukuthi yambuleka ke kanti nomnini waso leso sibhamu wambulwa.
Ya ngibuzwile lobo bufakazi.
Yes, I heard that evidence.
So it means Masonda was talking about another firearm and you are talking another firearm, of
Ngamanye
which
amazwi ke
the serial number was not revealed.
uma sonto ukhuluma ngesinye isibhamu wena ukhuluma ngesinye isibhamu leso ukhuluma ngaso i-serial number zange ngivezwe.
Cha sikhuluma ngesibhamu esi1 ukuthi nje mina kule case yala azange ivele i-serial number. Ivele kwamanye ama case kaMasonto.
We are talking about the same firearm. It's just that on this matter, the serial number was never revealed, or that it was not retrieved. Perhaps in Masonto's cases,
Did I get you?
other cases that he is dealing with, it could be that the serial number was revealed or retrieved, but not on this one.
Did I hear you correctly saying that if the owner is revealed, the firearm will then be taken to the owner? Did you say that?
Ngabe ngikuzwe kahle ke uma ngabe umnini wesibhamu uyavela okanye bayakhona ukumretriever leso sibhamu siyathathwa sisiwe kuye.
Instruction ibingeke ifane nalesikhuluma ngayo manje.
The instruction
forfeit to the state and destroy.
The instruction would not have been the same as the instruction that we are dealing with right now, that the firearm should be forfeited to the state and be destroyed.
Okay.
If ukuthi number beyikhona, serial number ne owner besikwazile uku-identify ukuthi ubani.
If it so happened that the number was there, that is the serial number was there, and as well as the owner of the firearm was identified.
Okay, so in this one of yours, not that one of Masondo, in this one of yours, the owner was not revealed. That is why there was an order to destroy this firearm.
Kulena ke eyakho umnini wesibhamu azange akavezwe kungalokho ke kwaba ne-order ethi ke masithathu lesi sibhamu sindlulisele kumbuso futhi siyo destroy.
Ngivumelana nawe kunjani impela.
I agree with you, precisely so, yes.
And the order in that one of Masondo, wherein the owner have been revealed, it will have a different order, not to destroy the firearm.
Laphana la kuvele khona ke umnini wesibhamu i-order iyohluka nale yalana la ngabonakala ngayo umnini wesibhamu.
Kusho ukuthi ke manje lana ke kusho ukuthi mawuthi lena uMasonto akhuluma ngaso, I'm sure sine SAP 13 yaso different.
That actually means that the firearm being referred to that has to do with Masonto, it does have its own SAP 13 number that differs with this one here.
Correct. That's why I'm saying it means we are talking about different firearms.
Ingalokho ngisho ke ukuthi nikhuluma ngebhamu ezihlukile.
Cha mina ngikhuluma ngalesi siphambi kwami lesi esinye isikhulu esishoyo ke samasondo. Hayi angisazi mina ngisakhuluma nje senze ngimela iboxini. Sikhuluma ngalesu SAP 1386/2015.
I am talking about this one whose entry is reflected here in the books that I am having in front of me here. The one that has got SAP 1386 of 2015. As far as Masonto's firearm is concerned, I am not referring to that. Since I came into this box, I've been referring to this one that is reflected in these registers.
Okay. If Colonel Geninda came to book out the exhibit from you,
Colonel Geninda wezake wazo booker out exhibit kuwena.
Is it also not the procedure that he was supposed to come with the LCRC expert to package the exhibit, take pictures, book it out, and take it to the LCRC?
Bekungafanele ukuthi kube ileyo ndlela ke yenze
Sorry, my
ngakhona.
lord, not LCRC, to the ballistic.
Obefanele ukuthi eze nomuntu waseballistic kufike kuthathwe ke leyo exhibit iphackage kahle kuthathwe izithombe bese ke singakhishwa.
When it was booked out from you.
Bese ke sibukwa out kusuka kuwena.
Ngicela nkosi enkantolo aphinde futhi lo mbuzo wakhe awuqale kahle.
Can you please start? Rephrase that question, please.
Was it not the procedure should have been followed when Geninda came to book out the exhibit, that he will come with the LCRC expert or officer to package the exhibit, take pictures, and book out the exhibit to the ballistic?
Bekungeyona ke inqubo leyo ukuthi uGeninda uzofika ke ne official eqhamuka khona lapha yana LCRC or ballistic. Advocate Mshololo. LCRC or ballistic?
Ballistic, I'm sorry.
Okay, as nomuntu oqhamuka khona laphayana ballistic uma ke befika ke buyo thathwa ke leyo ngxenye yobufakazi or exhibit package.
Why should that be so? Because the end destination of the firearm is ballistic. So why should the ballistic start at the initiation of the process? Because this firearm ends with the ballistic. And you are saying, is it not procedural that a person from ballistic?
I'm sorry, my lord. I did not mean ballistic. I meant LCRC. My apologies, my lord. I meant LCRC.
Ngabe aksiyona ke kube nephutha nje kancane lapho inqubo leyo ukuthi umuntu wase LCRC eze no babugininda laphayana kuzobhukwa ke lengxenye yobufakazi kanti ke uma ibhukwa kanjalo kuzoqala kuthathwe leyo exhibit ibese ke iyapackagwa emva ukuthi ipackage ukuthathwa isithombe emva ukuthi ukuthathwa isithombe bese ibhukwa out action inqubo le.
As a court, please, my lord, I don't know, there's no such evidence that a person from LCRC came with Colonel Gininda or Brigadier Gininda.
My lord, I'm not saying the member from LCRC came. I'm just asking, was it not the procedure, my lord, that a member will come? I'm just asking, it's a question, my lord.
Yes, that's so. Mr. Baloyi, do you know that procedure?
Well, as a court pleases, my lord, the question seems to be unfair in the sense that the witness is now asked to speculate. You know, as I said, there's no such evidence. So I don't know, is the witness now expected to speculate?
Mr. Where are you getting to?
My lord, I'm not inviting the witness to speculate, but as a person who was working with the exhibits and who is used to this type of evidence, my lord, when the exhibits are booked out from the station.
But that procedure is following the evidence.
Yes, my lord.
Of taking the photo, taking the gun, the photo on all sides, 6 sides. It's when the exhibit firearm is brought in for the first time at your storeroom. Is that not the procedure?
Ukuthi uma kulethwa isibhamu mhlambe khona lapha ku storeroom le nqubo akhuluma ngayo leyo procedure akhuluma ngayo ifake ngaphakathi ukuthi kuthathwe isithombe sesibhamu ke sethi sikhuluma ngaso isibhamu bese kuthathwa ke amahlangothi wonke awu6 waleso sibhamu phezulu ngaphansi ema sidini ngasemuva ngaphambili akunjalo kuthathwa lesibhamu siyalethwa ngisho okokuqala masifika bese ke kuthathwa ke izithombe ezingaba u6
because enkanto la ke ngivumele ke ngichazela ukuthi please manje sesikhuluma local criminal record center ukhuluma ngeballistic iballistic is a FSL.
Now we talking about
into eyi-1 le.
Now we are talking about LCRC and ballistic or FSL. Ballistic and FSL is the same thing. And now we have also spoken about the LCRC. Let me try and explain that.
LCRC, ilaba bathatha ama-photos. We seen there on the scene.
Right on the scene. That is the people that are concerned with the taking of the photographs at the scene. That I'm referring to the people of the LCRC.
And the fingerprints as well.
And as well as the fingerprint. Ithathwa yibo labasi LCRC.
I-history yalesibhamu ukuthi satholakala umuntu eseshwa ngaleso sikhathi sitholakala, that's why sine-charge nje position engasho ukuthi senzeni lesibhamu lesi.
Now this is the history of the firearm. This firearm was found in possession of a person unlawfully possessing it, and it doesn't say much. That is why the charge is that the unlawful possession of the firearm.
So ke u-LCRC angeni ndawo kule charges.
Now on the charge like this one, LCRC has got nothing to do with it.
Lesibhamu sithathwa kulo muntu singene ebhegini singene CSC singene 13 sishone ballistic.
This firearm is taken from a person, it is put inside of the bag, it goes to SAP
13 storeroom.
Yes, SAP 13 storeroom.
And from there sihambe silandwe siye ballistic.
Then from there it is taken to the ballistic.
So uma kuthi khona ithonje okufanele thathwe ke la kusho ukuthi izothathwa yini FSL.
Now, if there are pictures that needs to be taken, they will be taken by FSL.
So ke mangiya ke manje question yakho sengiyayizwisisa ke ukuthi cha akusiyi procedure le.
Now, if I understand your question correctly, I would answer you by saying, no, that is not the procedure.
IO is there no LCRC people.
No, there shouldn't be a way that the RO or that the IO should not be coming with the LCRC people.
Okay. And at the time when Gininda booked out this exhibit, there are no pictures that were taken of this exhibit to show the condition in which Gininda booked out this exhibit.
Neyithombe azikho ngenkathi uGininda ezobhuka lesi sibhamu ke iyithombe azikho ukuthi wathatha lesi sibhamu sikwesiphi isimo.
Cha ke ngizothi impela hayi ngasathi sithatha kumina azikho ithombe ezathathwa.
I would say that when the firearm was taken from me, there are no photographs which were taken.
Thank you, Colonel. Is it also evidence that Gininda said he was booking out this exhibit for safekeeping?
Ngabe ubufakazi bakho ukuthi washo kanjalo uGininda ukuthi uyasibhuka out lesi sibhamu ukuthi ayosigcina siphephile?
Yebo washo ngibala ukuthi ngiyasithatha lesibhamu ngiyosigcina le kumina angazi ngiqhubeke ngambuza isizathu.
Now, he did say that he is taking this firearm. He is going to keep it with himself. I don't know if I should proceed. Proceed. I then asked him the question, what would be the reason?
Yebo angiphendula.
He then answered me.
Iqiniso ke siyalazi sonke nje la semhlabeni angiqhubeke nje.
Can I
Iqiniso
proceed?
siyalazi ibhamu ziyalahleka ema police station.
We all know the truth that firearms gets missing in the hands of the police.
Njengoba siyazi ukuthi no woodi iphoyisa laze 13 laze la ibulala ngoba bathola ukuthi ibhamu ezo 150 azikho accountable.
Even one police officer committed suicide, given the fact that there's 150 firearms that were not given account to.
So ngakubona kuyisimo esihle impela ukuthi cha sithathe lesibhamu lesi ndodo yosigcina kwena.
Well, I thought that was a good thing to do, that he should take this firearm and keep it with him
For safekeeping.
for safekeeping, which is asgcine laphana siphephile.
Yebo kunjalo.
It is
It is
also
indeed so.
your evidence that you said in terms of the audit report, this firearm is still counted under your custody. Am I
Ngabe
correct?
kunjalo ukuthi kuya nge-audit report ukuthi lesi sibhamu savelela-ke kulezi ibhamu oyiqaphile wena.
Yebo
Ngaphansi
ngoba ucolumn 6 wami lo wayizolo we disposal is still open.
Yes, because the column 6 that I spoke about yesterday is still open.
Ngalesikhathi ke nguvala ke yilopho engisho ukuthi lesibhamu sesiphumile ke ngempela ezandleni zase Cleveland.
When I close that column, that is when I will be, writing down or perhaps saying that that firearm is out of my hands from the case of the Cleveland.
But in terms of your duties, the firearm is supposed to be under control and kept in this safe that you are controlling. Am I correct?
Lesi sibhamu befanele ukuthi njengoba usiqaphile sibe sesafini yakho le onolawulo phezukwayo.
Yebo right impela kodwa phela lesibhamu lesi asitshontshwanga la sikhishiwe sasayinelwa lo muntu wathi uzosithatha yena ngoba noma isibhamu sibhukwa size court ngisuke ngingekho mina ecourt ngile emsebenzini.
Yes, that is the truth. But however, this firearm was not stolen. This firearm was booked out. And if this person books it out, he will be perhaps here in court, and I wouldn't be in court myself. I would be somewhere in the office.
Njoba sikuyena nje si safe si right la sihleli khona if anything happen kusona yena uzobhala istatement ukuthi kwenzekeni ngalesibhamu.
Now, since it is not in my possession, it is in his possession, he's kept it safe. Anything that happens with that firearm, he will have to give an account, a written account, as to what happened with that firearm.
So kuba short ke nje ngosenkantolo ukuthi cha ayikho into wrong eyenzekile la.
In short,
sese right wonke sikwenzile sino Colonel Ginindi.
in short, there is nothing that is wrong that we have committed here in as far as the procedures are concerned between myself and Colonel Gininda.
Thank you, my lord. I have no
Brigadier
further
Gininda.
questions.
Okay, yes, Mr. Blowy. Re-exam.
As the court pleases, my lord. In cross-examination by both counsel for accused number 3 and accused number 5, reference was made to the statement by Colonel Mangena
Mawubuza imibuzo laphana ke ummeli kaMmangalelwa wesithathu uMmangalelwa wesihlanu malana ke nestatement esikalokho njani uMangena.
and in particular the sentence that reads, the said exhibits were received in an open evidence bag, and open here is OPEN, open, for record purposes.
Kakhulukazi ke leso okanye leso statement esithi le bag yatholakala okanye le exhibit yatholakala ivuliwe. Shothi ke ibag yayivuliwe.
Now,
Shothi lokho kuqhamuka kwi-statement sakhe.
yes.
I understand.
Yes. Now, the question is this. The forensic bags where in the firearms are packed, how do they look like?
Lama forensic bag la kufakwa khona ke ibhamu abuya kanjani lama forensic bag?
In other words, are they, can one see through them? Are they transparent, or what is the position?
Ngamanye amazwi uyakhona ukubona ilawa ke are transparent uyakwazi ukubona.
Yes, they are transparent.
They are transparent. Uthi ilawa okhona ukubona ngaphakathi ukuthi kunani.
You explained that only Colonel Mangena can explain his affidavit.
Ukushilo lokho ukuthi nguye uKolonel Mangena ongakwazi ukuthi azochaza i-affidavit yakhe.
Including the context in which he used the word open. In other words, open as in not closed or open as in transparent.
Ngamanye amazwi ke nokuthi ke ngaphansi kwesiphi isimo kakhulukazi makasebenzisa leli gama elithi open. Ngamanye amazwi ukuthi ibag lalivuliwe okanye ibag lalibonakala ukuthi liphethe ini ngaphakathi. Uyena umuntu ongakusho lokho.
Hayi uyena impela ozengeza azochaza.
Yes, he is the very person that can come and explain that.
You were also questioned by counsel for accused number 5 that there is no record that the firearm was sealed for the 5 years in which it was in storage.
Wakubuza ke ummeli kaMmangalelwa wesihlanu ukuthi akukho la kubhalwe khona phansi ukuthi lesi sibhamu besisiliwe ngamanye amazwi besifakwe kwi-evidence bag eyayisiliwe kule 5 years esasigcinwe khona lapha e-police station yakhombula.
Yebo kunjani impela ayikho record.
Yes, indeed, there isn't any record pertaining that.
And furthermore, there's no evidence that there was no exchange of firearms.
Nokuthi abukho ke ubufakazi obumayelana ukuthi azange kube ne-exchange yebhamu.
Anginabo lokho bufakazi.
Yes, I do not have such evidence.
You mentioned, evidence in chief that all activity, all transactions in respect of a firearm that's in the store is reflected in Exhibit X2.
Ukushilo lokho ke ukuthi ama-transactions wonke amayelana ke nalesi sibhamu ayavelela kulama entry aku X2.
Yebo kunjalo.
Yes, it is indeed so.
And you mentioned in particular that in column 5, one can trace as to what has been happening to the firearm.
Kanti naku column 5 yaleyo exhibit umuntu uyakwazi ukuthi aloke elandelela ukuthi kwenzakaleni ngaleso sibhamu leyo exhibit.
Yebo kunjalo.
Yes, it is indeed so.
So in other words, every single activity in respect of the firearm would be documented in Exhibit X2. Will that be
Ngamanye
correct?
amazwi ke yonke into eyenzakala ngalesi sibhamu izobhalwa phansi ku Exhibit X2.
Column 5. Yebo.
Yes, in column 5, yes.
No column 6 ukube sasesihambile bezobuvaliwe ube sas-destroy.
And column 6 as well, which would be applicable if that firearm had already been destroyed, was taken for destruction.
You also mentioned that it is the practice in the SAP 13 store that if an exhibit is received from the client service center in an exhibit bag that is open, it will not be accepted.
Ukushilo
In the
lokho
SAP
ke uma
13
ngabe
store.
i-exhibit iyalethwa khona laphana SAP 13 store iqhamuka khona laphayana kwi-client service center ivuliwe kwamkeleka khona laphana SAP 13 lokho kushilo.
yabo kunjani.
Yes, it is so.
Now, what is the practice if an exhibit is received back from, let's say, from ballistics to the SAP 13 store? If the exhibit bag has been opened, will it be accepted?
Uma ke leyo exhibit isiqhamuka khona laphana ballistic ilethwa ku SAP 13 store kanti ke ivuliwe ngabe leyo exhibit izoamkeleka?
Cha, ngeke impela siyamukele sizokwenza ukuthi lo muntu ozilethayo obuya nayo FSL ballistic abhale statement eshow ukuthi why the exhibit is open.
Not at all. It would actually compel us to let the person write a statement to justify why that exhibit bag that was coming from ballistic was brought open.
You were also asked by counsel for accused number 5 as to what Gininda told you when he booked the firearm on the 27th of July 2020, namely that the firearm is being linked to the Foslores case.
Wakubuza ke ummeli kaMangalelo Sihlanu ukuthi uGininda wathini makazobhuka out lesi sibhamu ukuthi wathi lesi sibhamu sibhukwa out njena sixhumene ne case yase Foslores uma eza nge-27 kaJuly 2020.
Yebo impela uma ifika kumina ezosithatha lesibhamu ethi uyasithatha for safekeeping washo ubrigadier now by then I left it and Colonel uthi cha ngiyasithatha lesibhamu ngoba ngibusy ngecase engi-investigatayo yase Foslores.
Indeed, that is what the then Lieutenant Colonel had said, that he is taking, which is now the brigadier right now, that he is taking this firearm for safekeeping in that there is a case that it is linked to, which is the Foslores case.
No. Now, before the 27th of July 2020, was this knowledge imparted to you? Did you know that, or did anyone in the SAP 13 store know that there was a linkage with the Foslores case before the 27th of July?
And gokuba ke kufike leyo date yange 27th ka July 2020 ngabe lolo lwazi kwakhona nje omnye wenu obekwazi lokho khona lapha na SAP 13 ukuthi le exhibit lena iqhunyaniswa ke necala la Foslores.
Ngaba kwaba yisurprise nje ngalelo langa ngathuka nokuthuka ukuthi lesibhamu phela sicishe sasikandayi.
Now, not at all. It was actually a surprise to us. We were surprised in that. In fact, I got shocked such that I thought to myself that we almost destroyed this firearm.
Now, you mentioned that at any given time there are a number of firearms in the store. At some point, there were firearms in excess of 500 in your SAP 13 store.
Ukushilo lokho ke kwakhona nje isikhathi la bekukhona khona ibhamu lapha ku SAP 13 store ezingaba 500 500.
Yebo mangikhumbula kahle ukuthi mina mangifika lapha e13 store ngoJanuary ngiqala ngisebenza khona impela mangenza handing over ngaphela uvela ungene kunalento okuthiwa ufune beniwe labantu bebesebenza lapha ufune banikezele kuwena umsebenzi so akumele uvela uthathe ungazange uyo counter each and every item and especially ebhamyeni ke khona impela wenza sure ukuthi usayinela ukuthi lento uyayithatha ngoba ngempela iyona ayishoti so mangasho impela ngamashoti ukuthi yebo zazifika impela ku 500 ibhamu lapha store.
Yes. I can say that with surety that there were 500 firearms that were in the storeroom, because the procedure is that one would not just allow the handing over to take place like that without ascertaining what is it that you will be responsible of. One would have to go into the storeroom there and count particularly the firearms. One would have to go and count the number of the firearms that you will be responsible for. Yes, in short, I would say that yes, there were 500.
Now, given this number of firearms in your store, what is your comment to the suggestion by counsel for accused number 4 that there could have been an exchange of firearms? 5, sorry, accused number 5.
Uma ummeli kaMmangalelwa wesihlanu ethi kunokwenzeka ukuthi kwaba noku exchange yebhamu khona lapho yesibhamu.
Hayi cha kungithusile impela ngoba phela sikhuluma ngebhamu eningi hayi kwaphikwa lesi nje ukuthi kube nokuxikixiki kusona ngoba nalabantu engithatha kubona yimi engase ngiya nale information ukuthi hey nazi lesibhamu lesi SP13 so esesine instruction ukuthi siya distractwa leso sibhamu phela sesithathiwe ngenxa ye case so yabona nabo bathuka ukuthi awu ulo muntu wafika lapho washona nje kusona le yabhek cha inkinga ngithukile mangizwa lo question esenkantolo.
I actually got shocked when I heard such a question, that why would it be that particular firearm that is chosen out of all the firearms, because it is even myself that alerted others that that firearm that was meant or that had the instruction that it should be destroyed, it is actually a firearm that is needed somewhere. So I actually got shocked when that was actually said.
It was also put to you that Sergeant Masondo testified that the serial number of this firearm was determined. You answer that maybe in other cases of Masondo it was revealed.
Ukushilo lokho ke uma kuthiwa ke uSergeant Masondo yena iserial number yesibhamu wakwazi ukuyithola wena wathi mhlambe kwamanye amaqala wakhe lo uSergeant Masondo.
Yebo ngisho njani Paul impela ngishiso lokuthi le case docket le position ayikho into eshoyo ukuthi isibhamu serial number yakhona ithini ayikho kule case ayikho.
Precisely, that is what I had said, given the fact that in this case docket there isn't any recording that says that what is the serial number of this particular firearm in this case docket. There isn't.
Now, it was put to you by counsel for accused number 3, Advocate Munisi, with reference to your statement, that you don't mention in your statement that Colonel Mangena fetched the firearm on the 20th of July 2020 to ballistics, to take it to ballistics.
Uyakhumbula ke ummeli kaMmangalelwa wesithathu wakusho lokho ukuthi esikhuluma ngo-advocate Mnisi ukuthi awuzange uyiveze kwi-statement sakho sibhalile ukuthi uKolonel Mangena weza futhi ukuzobhuka out leso sibhamu awuzange uyifake lapha yana kulesi statement sakho mayelana noKolonel Mangena ebhuka okanye ebuyisa isibhamu kuwena.
If I can ask you to turn to page 3 of Exhibit X2. Under the entry on the 20th of July 2020, can you just again place that entry and record?
Entry with record.
Yeah, it's 2020-07 on the 20th. Item 3.1, book to FSL ballistics for further examination.
Yes. Uthi lana nge 20 zika July 2020 kukhona ke lengcenye obufakazi 3.1 yabhukwa ke iyayisuka kwi FSL Forensic Science Laboratory kuma ballistics ukuze ke kuyokwenzwa ivivinyo eziqhubekayo.
So the purpose was stated in Exhibit X2, the firearm transfer register.
Kanti ke sizathu sabhalwa khona lana kwi firearm transfer register.
Yebo kunjalo.
Yes, it is indeed so.
And whilst we are on this aspect, it mentions that item 3.1, book 2 FSL, just once again, just put in record what is this item 3.1.
Ungaphinde futhi usitshele ukuthi le item ukuthi i3.1 kuyini.
In light of what was put to you by accused number 3 counsel, that there is a likelihood that the firearm Mangena received, it's not the same firearm that was confiscated from the accused by Sergeant Masondo.
Kakhulukazi hlobo esibhekele yonto leyo ukuthi lesi sibhamu lesi esatholakala ke kummangalelo wesithathu uSergeant Masondo akusisona ke khulunywa ngaso lana eincwadini.
What is this item as per 3.1?
Awusitshele ke le item esikhuluma ngayo i3.1.
Njoba ngeke ngasho nayizolo ukuthi u3.3 la ubhala khona ama details yonke exhibit oyifakayo lapha kwi SCSC izwe S13.
So I have already explained that 3.3 it is where you give or 3.1 within column 3, that is where you are able to say what are those items that you are booking in.
Yes.
So ngingasho nje ukuthi njoba kubhaliwe la ukuthi uKolonel Mangena wabhuka uitem 3.1 uTrajon 3.1 yini leyo ikwakuyi isibhamu esi1 9mm esimnyama ipistoli esakhandwa sabizwa ukuthi CZ75 igama laso elinye kuthiwa iLuka kodwa sasingenayo ke iserial number ngoba yayisusiwe.
As I have already indicated, the 3.1 meant that it was a firearm, 1 9mm black pistol, CZ75 of the caliber Luger, and serial number was filed off.
So lesibhamu asithatha uKolonel Mangena.
That is the very firearm that was taken by Colonel Mangena.
On page 4 of Exhibit X2, under the entry 27 July 2020, it is mentioned there that item 3.1 to 3.3 book back by Lieutenant Colonel Mangena.
Iyasho ke khona lapha na kuleli khasi lesine lapha yana kule entry ethi 27 July 2020 lapho ke ukuthi uSergeant Mangena uyena ke owabuyisa ke lesi leyo item item 3.1 ukuya ku item 3.3.
Yebo kunjalo.
Yes, it is indeed so.
The entry that we've just referred to on the 20th of July 2020 only refers to item in 3.1. Can you then just clarify?
Yes, into engayisho la kokwenzeka la ukuthi uKolonel ngoba ihandwriting yakhe la uyowabhala la ukuthi just that wa mention only u3.1.
What happened here, because I can see that is the handwriting of the Colonel here, he only made mention of 3.1, that he is taking 3.1.
So kwaba error nje eyenzeka la.
There was just an error that had happened there.
Yes. Well, what is the true position?
The true one is that one. These items 3.1 to 3.2, they were booked back, they were booked out. Although zingazange zishiwo la, but zihamba zonke umama nabantwana bakhe.
That is the true position, that even though it may not have appeared or generalized as 3.1 to 3.3, it should have been the position that 3.1 to 3.3 were booked out. They go together.
That's why mina as a store manager mase ngizi receiver ngabona ukuthi ubuyisa isibhamu nomagazini nenhlamvu.
As a store manager or the storeman there, I was able to see or observe that he is now returning the firearm, the magazine, and as well as the live rounds.
Ngoba kuba ngikushongo lokho ukuthi yini engagresive abe nginenkinga manje abe le magazine nenhlamvu sifuneka kumina.
Had I not made mention of what items in particular did it bring back, I would be in trouble right now. The magazine and as well as the live rounds, I was supposed to, perhaps they were going to ask me to provide them with them, or that I would have to account.
Naye futhi njengoba ubonile ke kozenkantolo uba mangena wayifaka isignature ngoba kube ngangashonga ukuthi kube wayizophika athi hayi imtshali wangisayinisa ukuthi mina ngilethe isibhamu nenhlamvu nemagazini mina ngithatha isibhamu kuphela.
As it is reflected here in the entry, there is a signature from Mangena. I should think that he was going to dispute signing this, given the fact that he only brought one item, to wit the firearm. He would have refused to sign, but it was evident that the items that he was bringing, it was not only the firearm, so he signed.
And what was handed to Brigadier Gininda?
Yeah, masiqhubeka kule landela impela iyasho kwenala futhi isahambisana nakho lokhu okuku column 3 ukuthi kwahamba ama item awu 3.1 aya ku 3.3 ngawanikeza uColonel Gininda obuya ehead office ewabhuka out ke ewasayinela ukuthi uyawathatha for ukuthi safekeeping ngecala lase Foslolas. 63610/2014.
Yes, the very same items that are reflected in column number 3, which are items 3.1 to 3.3, that Colonel Gininda came to the effect that he is taking those items for safekeeping, and also that these items are linked with the Fosloras case, CAS 636. Of 10 or /10 of 2014.
Naye ke futhi ubengeke afaka isignature la mina ngumnikeza into eyi1 kodwa ngibhale encwadini zabelungu ukuthi kuthathwa.
Even himself, he wasn't going to sign if I give him just one item, yet in the books here I have recorded 3 items. He wouldn't have taken it. He wouldn't have attached his signature there.
Mr. Court, please. Thank you, my lord. That is all.
Thanks. I see you want to throw the dice again. Colonel, it's just a minor thing. And actually nothing revolves around it. I'm just asking you this. Don't you find it that it was peculiar that, let me put it like this. Yeah, let me start. Don't you find it very peculiar that when 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3 were booked, the ammunition, 12 bullets. Are you with me?
Uyakuzwa lokho awutholi into ekhethe kakhulu leyo ukuthi kwathathwa lezo zinto ezo 3 kakhulukazi sesikhuluma ngama ammunition live rounds awu 12.
Hayi ngozenkantolo athi 28 la not 12.
Sorry,
Yeah,
28. Sorry, 28.
28.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask to combine with 28.
28.
That number. I mean, we have been told that this CPZ Luger pistol is plentiful in South Africa, which is true. But 28 bullets, is that also, when they come with 28 bullets, 30 bullets, 1 bullet? Is that what is your experience?
Maziza ke le ibhamu ngeenhlava ezinjalo 28 12 kanjalo 1
Ake ngichaze ngosenkantolo. Ngithi ukunaba nje kancane. Ozakwethu nje wabehleli lapha bephethe ama R5. I-R5 imagazini ifaka 30. But oyi1 angasukuma lapho uphethe ama magazini ayi2 ana 60.
Yes.
Yebo ke inhlamvu ezatholakala zu 28 including ne15 yeCZ nalezi ezinye ke zakhe lo ezathola kuyena ama extras zathathwa zonke ngaleso sikhathi yiko ke ziningi.
Yes, that is why there are many of them. All other bullets that were found in the possession of that person, they were also taken. An example was made that there are police officers there that are carrying the R5s, and one magazine is taking about 15. And if there are 2 magazines, there's obviously 30 of those bullets. So all of the bullets that were found during that time were taken together with
Okay,
it.
fine. No, nothing turns on it. Nothing. It's just me being curious. Okay. Thanks ever so much for your assistance.
Thank you very
Siyabonga
much,
kakhulu, baba.
my lord.
Let me ask you a personal question. You don't want to be the Commissioner of Police in South Africa?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Yes, my lord. Reference was made to the statement by Advocate Nisi. I suppose he wanted to hand it up. It will be Exhibit
Exhibit?
X in brackets 2 Annexure C.
Okay. So it will be X in brackets. Next year. Yeah, fine. So noted.
X in brackets 2 Annexure C.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
Mr. Court, please, may we then adjourn until...
All right. Friday, yeah? Okay, the court will adjourn 10 o'clock Monday.
All right.